Welcome to the deep dive. So you sent us a really interesting collection this time. A real mix of resources all focused on the sharp end of entrepreneurship.
Right. The competitive stuff, marketing, handling risks.
Exactly. Getting into new markets, domestically, internationally. We've got articles on risk management, deep dives into digital strategy, guides for startups, social media tactics. It's quite a lot.
It covered a lot of ground.
It really does. So our goal here for this deep dive, we want to kind of sift through all this and pull out the most critical insights.
Make it actionable knowledge.
Yeah, give you a solid grasp of the competitive challenges and, crucially, the best ways to actually tackle them. Thrive, not just survive.
Okay. Sounds good. Where should we begin?
Well, let's start with that competitive landscape. You're stepping into the ring, right? It's not just you.
Absolutely not. You're immediately part of an ecosystem. And a key concept from Avidian Wealth Solutions is competitive risk.
Okay.
And that's not just, the obvious rivals in your specific space. It's broader. Broader how it's any business going after your customers' time or money. It's shifts in the economy, changes in what people want. Suddenly, they want something else.
Right. So having a great idea isn't enough. You've got to know who else is playing what they're doing.
Exactly. Avidian really stresses that. Know your market, know your customer, and keep your finger on the pulse of industry trends.
And this is where it gets practical. We've got this fantastic PDF on competitive analysis.
Ah, yes. That one's gold.
It really lays out how to systematically look at your rivals.
It's not just a quick glance, is it? It's structured. It makes you look at, well, who owns them? How are they funded? What are their product lines, really?
Who are they targeting? What's their pricing? Their marketing approach?
Yeah, even the nitty-gritty, like where they get their supplies, what their sales brochures look like, how they distribute.
And it even has this visual template, right? For comparing features side by side.
That's super useful. Quality, price, service, trust, advertising. You actually rank yourself against competitors on these factors.
It forces an honest look, and it suggests real ways to get this info.
Like what?
Like actually talking to customers. What do they say about the competition? Looking at competitor ads, their websites.
Online reviews, too, I bet.
Definitely. And professional networks often overlooked, but really valuable.
It's all about gathering intelligence. And another source, the one on risk management and insurance, points out this competitive pressure is only getting more intense.
Why is that?
Well, think about how fast consumer tastes change now. Economic ups and downs, and of course, digital transformation shaking everything up.
It's a moving target.
Constantly.
And it's not just about market share, is it? There's also reputational risk.
Oh, absolutely. That's huge, especially now. The risk management article and the one asking what risks does an entrepreneur face both highlight this.
So like negative press or a social media storm?
Exactly. That can really hit a startup hard, damage the image, impact revenue.
The risk management piece had that example, didn't it? The Pepsi one.
Yes. The promotion in the Philippines back in the 90s. A marketing campaign that went badly wrong.
What happened?
It caused major consumer backlash, cost them a lot, and really hurt their reputation there.
It's a stark reminder, A marketing misstep can have big consequences.
Okay, so the pressure's on. How does a new business stand out? This is where marketing strategy comes in, right?
It's absolutely crucial, not just a nice to have. The Marketing and Entrepreneurship article makes that clear. Your strategy guides everything.
Everything like.
Product design, pricing decisions, how you promote it, how you actually get it to the customer. It's the whole plan.
And it has to be aligned, right? Not just random tactics.
Exactly. You need a deliberate strategy to get noticed, maybe even carve out your own specific piece of the market. Focused effort.
And in the digital world, that focus has to be on the customer.
Totally. The Digital Marketing Strategy Guide really hammers this home. Think like your consumer. What do they need? Where do they hang out online? What messages work?
You have to put yourself in their shoes and keep researching. The guide stresses this. The online space changes constantly. Your competitors are adapting, so you have to as well. It's ongoing.
Are there frameworks to help with this?
Yeah, the guide mentions some classics that are still relevant for digital. The 4 Ps: product, price, place, promotion.
Okay.
The Boston Matrix for portfolio analysis, Porter's value chain. They can give you structure.
But before you jump into tactics...
You need that reality check. A situational analysis. What are you good at your strengths? Where are you lagging weaknesses?
And what's happening outside? Opportunities you can grab, threats you need to watch out for.
It's basically a SWOT analysis tailored for this context.
Yeah.
The guide has great prompt questions.
Like?
For strengths, What do you genuinely do better than competitors? For weaknesses, where do they have the edge over you? It demands honesty.
Okay, so you've done your homework, you understand your situation, then what?
Then the digital marketing guide gets into the channels. How do you actually distribute your content and connect?
Right, like SEO, getting found in Google searches organically.
Mhm. And search PPC pay-per-click, bidding on keywords so your ads show up right when someone's searching.
The guide notes KPC is good for conversions, maybe less so for general awareness.
Generally, yes. It targets intent.
Yep.
Then you've got social media,
Huge landscape there. Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest.
LinkedIn for B2B, YouTube for video.
Yeah.
It's about sharing, engaging, building that community.
And you can advertise on social too, right? Social PPC.
Yeah, and that can be good for awareness. You can target interests and demographics, reach people who aren't actively searching but might be interested.
What about email? Still relevant.
Absolutely. The guide highlights its power for building loyalty, trust, driving traffic, conversions, but you got to do it right.
Meaning?
Permission-based, relevant content. Avoid spam triggers like the plague.
Got it. And display ads, those banners we see everywhere.
Yep. Banner ads, rich media ads, good for awareness, maybe sales, especially with retargeting, showing ads to people who visited your site before.
But relying too much on these platforms has risks, doesn't it?
Definitely. The risk management article mentioned platform dependency. Remember Facebook's algorithm change in 2018?
Vaguely. What happened?
They changed the news feed, and overnight, many businesses saw their organic reach, their free visibility just plummet.
Ouch! So you can't put all your eggs in one digital basket.
Precisely. Don't build on rented land, as they say.
Okay, let's pivot specifically to startups. The ultimate startup marketing quick start guide. What does it say they need to focus on?
For startups, it's often about differentiating fast, grabbing market share quickly, and showing sales growth, especially if they've taken investment.
And it starts with the why, right?
Yes, define your core purpose, your mission. That clarity fuels your messaging, makes it resonate.
And for those lean startups, it talks about viral marketing, growth hacking.
Right, trying to get rapid growth on a limited budget. It depends on things like your viral coefficient, how many new users each current user brings in.
And focusing efforts where potential customers actually are.
Makes sense. Oh, and I like the point about Facebook ads, not just for getting customers, but for research.
How so?
The detailed targeting lets you test different messages on different groups. You learn a ton about who responds to what. It's like a live focus group.
That's clever. And the feedback loop.
Crucial. The iteration cycle. Constantly get feedback, learn, improve the product, improve the marketing.
The guide also mentions social proof.
Yeah, showing you have users, likes, positive reviews. It builds trust and encourages signups.
And who should startups target first?
Innovators and early adopters. The folks who like trying new things. They can become your biggest champions.
I loved the phrase, zig when everyone else zags.
Yes, a great way to think about differentiation. Find your unique angle.
The guide maps out acquisition stages too, doesn't it?
Building your own owned media, then getting earned media like PR, and finally using paid media strategically.
Plus things like email automation for personalized messages.
Yeah, sending the right message at the right time based on what a user does.
And social media, again, for feedback, relationships, credibility.
Definitely. And knowing what content works in your niche. You can't just create generic stuff. It has to be exceptional, genuinely useful.
And networking with influencers?
Still valuable for PR and marketing reach, according to the guide.
SEO gets another mention too.
Always important for capturing active searchers. Plus, Google Ads display, remarketing, content discovery platforms for wider reach.
And LinkedIn ads for B2B targeting.
Right, hitting specific job titles or industries.
Okay, now there's another source, social media and Startup PS. It talks about a mindset shift.
Yes, adapting to this online reality where information is everywhere, it changes how companies interact with customers, partners, everyone.
It mentions involving the crowd.
Yeah, using collective input, getting ideas from your community on your mission, your website, even your logo. Tapping into that collective brain.
And social media as a community tool, not just broadcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially key for reaching younger generations, Gen Y, Gen Z, and useful for partner collaboration too.
It gives platform tips too, like Facebook for visual, Twitter for broadcast.
LinkedIn for B2B, yeah. But the key is consistency in activity. You have to show up regularly.
And it clarifies content marketing, right? Busting some myths.
It does. Defines it as creating truly valuable stuff for customers to build trust and achieve marketing goals, not just selling all the time.
And tailoring content is important.
Hugely. Different platforms, different audiences need different approaches. And personal branding for founders, that's powerful too. Your story matters.
Okay, so we've covered a lot about risks and marketing strategies. How do we tie this back to actively managing that competitive risk we started with?
Good question. Several sources give advice here. Avidian says develop strategies to anticipate customer needs and, really importantly, protect their data
And keep analyzing the market and competitors.
constantly. The Digital Marketing Guide adds brand management, ensuring your marketing matches your desired image.
And having a crisis plan.
Essential, says the risk management source. For when things go wrong with your reputation, you need a plan before it happens.
Market research keeps coming up too.
Yes, for understanding needs and reducing the risk of launching something nobody wants. And that SWOT analysis helps identify risks early.
The What Risks article had a blunt point too,
Which one?
about competition. If you have none, maybe there's no market. If you have lots, you must differentiate. Maybe even protect your IP.
That's a great point. And it loops back to reputation again. Manage it through clear communication, build those relationships.
So, wrapping this deep dive up, what are the big takeaways?
Well, competitive risk is real. It's evolving. You can't ignore it.
And marketing isn't just fluff. It's a core strategic weapon. Needs to be informed, proactive.
Digital tools are powerful, but you need strategy. And you can't be totally dependent on any single platform.
But underlying everything, it seems to be about understanding. Understand the landscape, the competition.
And most of all, understanding your customer deeply, continuously.
Right. It sounds like it's not a one-off task. It's a constant cycle.
Exactly. Analyze, adapt, manage risk, repeat.
So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, is this. How can you embed that continuous cycle into your own venture? That constant learning about your market, your customers, your competitors.
Because ultimately, that relentless quest for understanding that might just be your strongest, most sustainable competitive advantage in this whole entrepreneurial game.